Welcome, friends and spiritual travelers. This is Mystic Owl. Today I'm going to do a new moon in Leo forecast for you for August the 19th or 18th, 19th, 2020, depending on where you are in the world. We're going to do an astrological forecast, and then I'm going to get into a pick a card reading that I've arranged for you. So we have 3 piles for that. So basically it'll speak to the energy associated with this transit happening on the 19th of August. So moving into the forecast, this is quite a tense energy actually. It's a very sort of complicated and tense energy that we're about to sort of go through. And I sense that a lot of you have been feeling it already as we're approaching this new moon. So keeping in mind that it is a new moon, so it's new energy, it's a fresh start. It's the end of one cycle and the beginning of an opportunity to start a new cycle. So looking at the chart, we have some tough aspects associated with this new moon. First of all, we have Mars here at 24 degrees in Aries. And Mars in Aries is actually dignified in Aries. It feels at home in Aries. It is a ruler of Aries. Mars is the planet associated with war and taking action. It's a very masculine dominated sort of energy. And Aries being the first house or the first zodiac sign of the zodiac. This is all about us really wanting to put ourselves first and take action on our desires. It's a very dominant masculine energy of wanting to take charge and really go after our dreams and desires and to put ourselves first and to be the best at whatever we want to do or whatever our desires may be. Mars in Aries can often at times be quite a violent or an aggressive energy, but associated with this new moon, it's more of a disciplined energy of just wanting to take charge and to be the best at whatever it is that we have set our minds to. But Mars is actually squaring a cohort of planets currently all in retrograde in Capricorn, the zodiac sign of Capricorn. So we have Jupiter at 18 degrees Capricorn. We have Pluto at 22 degrees Capricorn and Saturn at 26 degrees Capricorn, all currently in retrograde. These planets combine together to make one sort of dominant planet. So there's a lot of energy associated with all of these planets conjunct together in Capricorn. Jupiter, being the planet associated with expansion and growth, actually sort of magnifies the effects of Saturn, which is the planet associated with discipline, restriction, and making sure that you have all of your ducks in a row before you move on. It's that fatherly figure of like authoritarian discipline. So Jupiter is actually expanding the energy of Saturn, really making us sort of like become more focused and disciplined about certain aspects of our life that we know we need to change or that haven't been working out for us, kind of working through our own fears and those habits that we need to change, basically, so that we can progress on for the rest of our journey a lot lighter and freer, knowing that we've overcome certain challenges in our life. And with Pluto also conjunct with these 2 planets, this is a really deep transformative time. A lot of inner work that we need to do in order to like address certain issues. So we have Mars here really wanting to take charge and be very aggressive and to go after our desires. Squaring, which is a very tense aspect, these 3 planets really wanting us to sit down and to get our ducks in a row and to become more disciplined in certain aspects of our life that we know need to change. So it's probably worthwhile having a look at which house Capricorn is currently the ruler of in your chart and which house these 3 planets are currently traversing. For me, Capricorn is the ruler of my 9th house of philosophy, of higher learning, of spirituality and growth and expansion. So over the last year and a half, when Saturn and Jupiter have started to sort of transit Capricorn, I've gone through a massive transformation in terms of my values and what's important in my life. I lost my job and I started getting into spirituality a lot more and astrology. And so now I'm actually like starting to dedicate myself a lot more to astrology and tarot as a passion, but I've had to really like take stock of a lot of things in my life that weren't working. So I've pretty much given up drinking completely. I've started sort of becoming a lot more disciplined in my approach to spirituality with meditating every day. I spend a little bit of time pretty much in nature every day just to sort of connect to the earth and ground myself. I've now started this YouTube channel to sort of get my thoughts and views out in hope to like connect with other people that have similar thoughts and views on life and why we're here. So this is really sort of calling for you to become more disciplined in your approach to whatever house these three planets are currently sort of traversing through in your own natal chart. Noting that Capricorn is the ruler of this house. So, for example, if this is your third house of your local community and of your siblings and communication, it might be calling for you to get to know your community a little bit better, or to start like dedicating yourself to giving back to the local community through charity work, or checking in on neighbors that might be struggling a little bit. So whatever that is for you. So this part here with Mars in Aries, wanting us to really look after ourselves and be the best that we can be, is really squaring quite challengingly with the need to sort of address those things that we know we need to change in our life. We also have here, noting that this is all about the new moon in Leo, remembering that Leo is the majestic ruler of the zodiac. Leo is the king or queen, and Leo is very charitable and charming, and likes to stand in his or her power, really trying to raise everybody up by showing what you can do when you start to look after your own dreams and desires. Along with the moon, really associated with your deeper sort of emotional needs, is currently quincunx, or in conjunction with these three planets, all in retrograde in Capricorn. A quincunx is also a challenging aspect, but it's more of like not seeing eye to eye with someone. You know, when you meet that person or there's somebody in your life that you always sort of conflict with, you just have nothing in common whatsoever. So once again, we have our dreams and our desires here of wanting to like just be free and have fun, and to really go after our goals and put ourselves first. Our deepest emotional desires of freedom and chasing our higher calling and our higher purpose in life, really sort of not getting along or seeing eye to eye with this need to address those deeper parts of our life that we know aren't serving us, and that we need to be more disciplined in our approach to overcome. So what we tend to do with quincunxes is to generally decompartmentalize our life. Because these two things do not see eye to eye, we need to address them separately, basically. So we need to spend more time on both of these aspects, sort of looking after them very separately, which is very time-consuming and very laborious. So first of all, we have here Mars and our need to want to be the best at whatever it is that our higher calling is, our purpose in life, and our deeper sort of emotional desires. So we need to spend time on like really nurturing those desires and looking after our own needs and what it is that we want from life right now. And generally this is associated with creativity or passion, those things that make you feel happy and lift you up. For me, it's all about tarot and astrology. I've been doing a lot of study in it recently, and it sort of brings me a lot of happiness and joy. Astrology has started to like really answer a lot of questions about myself and certain habits that I had. But then we also have here, so the conflict is between wanting to like really spend time doing the things that we love, that we know that we should be doing, that we enjoy doing, and that potentially lead to our higher calling in life, our soul purpose. But then there's also this other part of us that knows that we need to like address those things that just haven't been working out in our life right now. And being in Capricorn, which is that earth sign of discipline and sort of slow moving, like progressive and dedicated energy, this is a really tense, hard-working sort of aspect that we need to work through currently. So there's two conflicting energies here. We need to spend time looking after our own dreams and desires, and then spend a lot of time really like addressing those things that aren't working for us. But on the plus side, just to lighten the energy a little bit, we currently have Neptune at 20 degrees traversing the star sign of Pisces. Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. Neptune is dignified in Pisces, so it's very, very comfortable and at home in Pisces. Neptune is also retrograde at the moment. But in the star sign of Pisces, Neptune sort of lightens the energy. It's very dreamy and airy. Has that feeling of like being able to really do anything, or that feeling of like, if we really put our minds to things, we can fulfill our ultimate dreams and desires, essentially. It's a very airy, light, dreamy energy. So it kind of lightens the energy of these very tense or conflicting aspects that we have currently going on through this new moon. But the last thing I wanted to talk about is the fact that these planets are all currently in retrograde. So we have Jupiter in retrograde at 18 degrees of Capricorn, Pluto in retrograde at 22 degrees Capricorn, Saturn in retrograde at 26 degrees Capricorn, along with Neptune at 20 degrees retrograde in Pisces. Retrograde is a time of going inwards to ask the bigger questions within ourselves. It's kind of a time to reset or to revisit things that we haven't worked on, or that we need to look at again in our life and work out if they're working for us or not. So this is a time for us to really sort of go inward and to reflect, to contemplate about our life and what it is that we really want to achieve, but more so about how we plan on achieving it, what steps we need to take in order to allow us to really stand in our power with Leo here, the sun in Leo, in terms of like making our biggest dreams and desires come true. So this is a really good time to spend time like in meditation or contemplation, along with really sort of buckling down and addressing those things that aren't working for us. But at the end of the retrograde season, these three planets here come out of retrograde through September, and I think it might be Pluto that is the last to turn direct on like the middle of October 2020. That's when we can really start taking charge and working on our plans that we've been addressing through this period of like introspection, to really start like taking charge of making practical steps towards our biggest dreams and desires. So it is a very tense and trialing time at the moment for most of the collective. I think a lot of us have been feeling it quite deeply. I know for myself, I've been really wanting to progress a lot with my readings and getting more into astrology and stuff and trying to expand my channel, but there's other things that I really needed to look at and that I knew that I had to let go of in my life, and I've done a lot of work on that, but there's still this feeling of not achieving things right now. But I hope and I know that when these planets turn direct and leading into 2021, things will start to pick up and I'll have more success. So not all is lost at the moment. Remember, this is just a period that we will get through, because change is the only certainty in life. But moving on from that, let's move on to the pick a card reading. So we know what challenges we're facing currently through this new moon in Leo. We have 3 piles to choose from. And I'll touch more about how they are affecting you more personally in each pick a card reading. So we have pile 1 here with the Opal. We have pile 2 with the Hematite. And we have pile 3 with the raw Malachite. So as per usual, please use your intuition to choose a pile. Remember, these readings are general, so take only that which resonates and leave the rest behind. And on that, let's get started with pile 1 and see how the new moon in Leo is affecting you more intimately. Welcome, pile 1, with the lovely opalite stone. Let's find out how the new moon in Leo is affecting you by starting with your oracle cards. and then we'll get some tarot cards afterward to get some more information and more insight. The first card is all about what you're currently healing or what you've been working on. Maybe you haven't even known, but things that you've been working through internally and what you're currently healing, just to see where that tough aspect of those 3 planets conjunct is currently working through and calling for you to be more disciplined in your approach to life. You have the number 7, create boundaries. Okay. You have the New Moon in Libra. Nice. A romantic cycle begins. And you have the South Node. Don't let your past hold you back. So we'll start with those cards. Okay. For you, Pile 1, you're really being called to like change habits from your past that I suspect weren't working for you. So for example, for me, I mentioned that I've like given up drinking, and I've sort of become a lot more dedicated to spirituality by meditating daily and going on walks out in nature. This is really calling for you to like, I suppose, not fall back on certain habits or behaviors that weren't serving you previously. And I suspect you know what that is for you. It may be certain coping mechanisms that we may have adopted in our life to deal with certain challenges that we're going through. It may be associated with your health or becoming more disciplined at work or whatever it is. So I suspect that there's some certain habits or patterns that you've been through in your past that you may have struggled to overcome or you're currently dealing with right now. This is calling for you to continue to do that work and to set sort of certain boundaries up to prevent you from falling back on certain traits that you've struggled with in the past. And it's also calling for you to be quite honest with yourself about things that you know just aren't for your greater good. So in here, the woman's kind of looking at the mirror. The mirror's reflecting, I guess, the things that she maybe doesn't want to see. She's hiding behind, her true essence is really hiding behind the mirror. The mirror's reflecting the lies that we tell ourselves just to sort of allow us to sort of keep progressing through life. I guess more of a defense or a coping mechanism more than anything, really. Or potentially there's some people around you, I'm also picking up on that just aren't good for you, or that maybe take advantage of you, Pile 1. So these cards are calling for you to really stand in your power, like Leo, with the new moon energy coming into Leo right now, of standing in our power and putting our own needs and desires first, basically, to look after your own needs right now and to sort of nurture yourself. And if there are potentially some habits or addictions or even negative mindsets that we need to let go of, maybe take stock of those things and come up with ways that you can prevent yourself from falling back on those habits that aren't serving you, to set boundaries so that you can't allow yourself to go down that path anymore. I sense that you feel the urge to really like take a new direction in life is what I'm picking up on, Pile 1. There's something, you also have a new romantic cycle begins, New Moon in Libra. There's maybe a romantic partner that you've met recently, or there's an opportunity to meet someone new. If you're looking for a loved one or a soulmate, potentially you're looking for your soulmate. These cards are definitely indicating that if you do the work, then there's an opportunity for you to meet someone new. But I really sense that the romantic cycle is about loving yourself and actually putting your own needs and desires first, and going after those things that you've always wanted to do that maybe you've held yourself back from and kept yourself small because of fear or due to like other issues that you've had in the past preventing you from taking charge. Sorry, Pile 1, I got distracted. There was some really bizarre noise outside of my door. I don't know what it was. I just had a look and I couldn't find anything. Something fell down or something. But anyway, moving on. I was talking about this new cycle of you really putting yourself first and going after your own dreams and desires, or overcoming your fears or potentially those things that are keeping you small and holding you back from taking charge of being that person that you've always wanted to be and doing those things that you know is sort of that your soul is calling for you to go after, essentially. Moving on from that, your next cards. Oh, you have Divine Protection. Excellent. Number 12. And you also have number 11. Okay. Inspiration. Lovely. Okay, pile 1. What is it you've always wanted to do? Basically, these cards are saying to you, now is the time to do those things that you know is your soul is urging you or wanting you to go after. I sense that you've probably done a lot of work on overcoming certain patterns that you knew were holding you back. There may still be things that you know you need to address, but I do see that this is a group that is starting to balance the scales of what's good for you and what you know is not sort of working for you, and is really looking after your own needs and putting yourself first now, which is really beautiful, pile 1. And I commend you for doing it, and I urge you to continue doing it. But what is it that you've always wanted to do? What is that very one thing that lights up your soul and makes you feel alive, and it brings out the magic in life for you? That is the thing that you're now supposed to be doing. This new moon in Leo is really calling for you to capitalize on this energy and to continue on the work that you've done overcoming your challenges, so that you can actually put yourself first and start like shining bright by doing the things that you've always wanted to do. I'm also just really drawn to the purple colors here in the inspiration card, along with the new moon in Libra. This might be a group that is quite strongly connected to their own spirit guides, I sense. So for you, it's about sort of following those messages and knowing that you are divinely protected, pile 1, that any fears or fears of rejection potentially, or fears of changing your life, are just things that you need to overcome, and know that like you are being called to go after these things, that spirit is protecting you and guiding you on your journey here, and supporting you to be the person that you've always wanted to be, and to do the things that you've always wanted to do. This is a really, really beautiful reading. Considering this is quite a tense time, this is an opportunity for you to change your life for the better, and to know that like you will be protected and guided if you actually follow your soul's desires and urges. Moving on from that pile 1, let's get some further messages and insight for you from the 5-cent tarot deck. Spirit, can we get some further messages, please, for pile 1? What else do they need to know for this new moon in Leo? Okay, so you have 3 cards here. Your first card is the 8 of Needles in reverse. Excellent, lovely, look at that. Self-acceptance. See if we can get it to focus. Self-acceptance, healing, and freedom. Beautiful cards. You have temperance, patience. Lovely. Balance, there you go, like the new moon in Libra. And your final card, is the Knight of Cups here. It says heartbreaker, jealousy, and moods. Okay. So what I am seeing for you, pile 1, is potentially you've been in a relationship that caused you a lot of pain. Somebody broke your heart. I sense that you were in a relationship potentially where someone left you and made you feel abandoned or rejected. So you might have been a little bit wary of putting yourself out there again in terms of trying to meet someone new, or potentially it's just really crushed your self-esteem and your ego, and so you've been keeping yourself small a little bit, and maybe you've been you know, partaking in other activities to sort of cope with the pain or the challenges of what you've been through based on certain relationships or experiences that weren't good for you or that hurt you in the past. But I do see that you've done a lot of work here, and you're coming into a period where you're starting to love yourself again. You've done a lot of inner healing. I sense that those 3 planets conjunct in Capricorn, whichever house it may be for you, has caused you to spend a lot of time like starting to accept yourself and work out who you are and what you want from life. And you're now coming into a period of balance and harmony, and where you're putting yourself first and starting to love yourself again, which is really beautiful for you, Pile 1. Remembering the Temperance is the angel associated with luck and fortune. This is a period for you where you can actually now like take charge of those things that you've always wanted to do, knowing that not only are you protected, but there's a lot of like fortune and luck sort of in the cards for you. You're being called to really go after your soul's urges and desires because you've done a lot of inner work overcoming the pain and the challenges of your past. Lovely. Let's get a closeout message for you, Pile 1. If you have been hurt by somebody in the past and you've done a lot of like inner work trying to accept yourself again and work out who you are and what you want from life, I sense that now is the opportunity to potentially meet someone new. Your card says, "My vibes speak louder than my words." Beautiful. So for you, it's all about like doing those things that make you feel good and continue to do the inner work to overcome any negative thoughts or potentially bad habits that you've adapted to like cope with certain challenges or pain from your previous relationships or from the past. Knowing full well that now is the opportunity for you to like get out there and take charge of those things that you've always wanted to do. Continue to put yourself first. I also see there's a butterfly here. Butterflies in this card, along with the butterfly in Temperance. So butterflies might be an animal totem or a spirit animal of yours, or tends to bring like a message of transformation and change and encouraging you to continue to do the inner work, Pile 1. That's all I have for you, Pile 1. I hope it resonated with you. If it did, please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And let's move on to Pile 2. Hello, Pile 2 with the lovely Hematite stone. Let's find out how this new moon in Leo, this fresh energy is affecting you. So this first card is about what's currently healing in your life, what you've been working through with those 3 planets conjunct in Capricorn, what you've had to deal with and really become more disciplined and more of a structured approach to. So it says here, 23, practice positivity. Okay. You also have the supermoon. Lovely. Emotions are running high. And you have the full moon, surrender to the divine. All right, would you look at those 2 cards? So you've got both the supermoon and the full moon. So this is a new moon, it's new energy, a chance to start something new. There's the end of one cycle and the beginning of another cycle. But with the full moons here, this indicates that this period is going to be a very, very emotionally charged and very, I guess, deep, transformative time for you, Pile 2. Noting that the supermoon, emotions are high. This card talks about a really positive time when you're feeling alive and very electric and energetic. Along with the full moon here, surrender to the divine. I really sense that what's happening for you is that you're sort of ending a phase of your life where you may have felt quite down or negative or low. If you have had been in a phase of your life where potentially things just didn't work out for you, where things fell apart, potentially like the Tower moment in tarot, and you've been wondering when this is going to turn around, when the wheel of fortune will step in and like turn that wheel to a positive change and a positive period for you, then this period with the new moon in Leo is a chance for you to start to like really believe in yourself again. I do sense that you're also being called, like pile one, to potentially surrender things that maybe aren't working for you in the past. And for you, I'm picking up on pile one that this is probably associated with your thought patterns about why things fell apart or why things didn't work out for you. If you've had some challenges, I sense that maybe you've been feeling a bit down about those challenges and feeling like nothing is going your way. But I am picking up on a group where this period and this change coming in with the new moon in Leo is a really positive time for you to start to feel alive and to feel more vibrant and to really start believing in yourself again. Your emotions will start to be more positive. I sense you'll be a lot more happy, more free going, and starting to like do those things that bring you joy, and things will start to sort of work out for you again. Noting that in October this year, those planets all go direct, and we can start to get the positive outcomes and to see the real sort of practical, positive like changes in our external world based on all of that internal work that we've had to do during this retrograde period. Yeah, with the boat here, the swan, like where is it that you're headed, pile one? The swan is really sort of directed towards the full moon, surrender to the divine. So there may still be things that you need to let go of, or certain limiting beliefs that you need to change your mindset on or start to address potentially. But the woman here is looking out into the horizon. She's looking out like far ahead of her. So I sense that you have some goals that you want to achieve, or you've already set some goals. There's things that you want to achieve in your life. It's just about like becoming quite practical and taking those steps to getting to those goals and achieving those goals. Knowing that first you may have to get through some more challenging periods in your life where there's still things that you need to address internally, pile one. But a very positive time and positive energy coming in for you, which is really beautiful. Moving on from that, your next two oracle cards. Oh, okay. Lovely. So you have the relief card, number 22 for pile 2, which is a beautiful synchronicity. Nice, okay. And you have the practical intuition card, number 30. Ah, interesting. So once again, I was just talking about a new period of like positive energy. I really sense that you're starting to feel it, pile 1. Pile 2. You're starting to feel the change internally and starting to notice those changes externally too, from the work that you've done trying to overcome certain challenges. Remembering that those 3 planets conjunct in Capricorn, whatever like house that sits in for you, I sense you've been really restricted and had to become more dedicated in it. But now you're starting to see the rewards for your efforts with the relief card here and the emotions running high. These cards really speak to each other in terms of like a new phase of positivity and starting to overcome those negative emotions and negative thought patterns that you may have been caught up in due to certain things that weren't working out for you in your past, pile 2. But I also am noting, similar to pile 1 again, also just strong purple colors in all of these cards. So with the, I think that it might be like lilac or lavender in the practical the practical intuition card. You have the purple on her gown and her dress in the relief card, and a lot of purple in both the surrender to the divine and to the supermoon tarot. So this is also a group that I sense is being divinely guided through certain challenges. Your spirit guides are really quite connecting with you very strongly right now, showing you the way, pile 2, directing you through these things that were quite hard and taxing for you. I sense that you have a very strong connection with them, and that you rely on that intuition or those instincts that they're downloading to you. And you've been doing a lot of work overcoming those challenges that have been caused by those 3 planets conjunct in Capricorn at the moment. You also have the sun shining bright here. Like Leo, the sun in Leo, about standing in your own power and putting your own needs first. This is also a period for you, pile 2, where you can start to like really dream big about whatever it is that you want to achieve. Noting that there's still things that you need to overcome to do the work and to continue to overcome your challenges. And I sense you're going to get more belief in your own ability to like start taking action on your own dreams and desires. I am also seeing potentially, if you've wanted to like, this will only resonate for a few of you, but if there's a group out there that maybe has had trouble falling pregnant or has wanted to start a family and you've had trouble like, falling pregnant, that you've got the rabbit here. Along with the relief card in the emotions running high, I'm sensing that maybe now is a time for you to start afresh, potentially. It might be a lucky time for conceiving and actually like becoming pregnant. I'm picking up on. But once again, that will only resonate with a few of you out there. Moving on from that pile 2, let's get some further insight and wisdom from the 5-cent tarot deck about what else you'll be going through during this new moon period in Leo. Spirit, can we get some further messages and insight for pile 2 about some other aspects or challenges that they may be overcoming, or some fresh new energy that will guide them on their journey in life? With the practice positivity card, I just really reminds me of like the of the star card in tarot with all the stars in the background at night. I just get the vibe of like the star card. This is a positive, really hopeful time for you, pile 2. A chance to like take action on your biggest dreams and desires, knowing that you are being guided here and that you've done a lot of work overcoming certain inner challenges or belief patterns that weren't serving you with the relief card there. Think positively and know that this cycle is ending and a new cycle is beginning. Oh, okay. I'll just cut the cards too. So the first card that came out for you is the Lover's card, which is really beautiful. So I was talking about a group that maybe wants to start a family or to raise some children. I do sense that this is a period where you may be able to like put your relationship first, and if you've had any challenges or problems with your partner, that now is the time for you to sort them out and to move on with your relationship, leaving those issues behind, starting afresh and building on your relationship again. Or potentially if you are single and like pile 1, you've been looking for your soulmate or a lover, I think now is a time and opportunity for you to do so, with emotions running high associated with like ecstasy and joy, like feeling really great and vibrant, and relief here indicating that you're overcoming a period where maybe you felt alone and lonely. You might be being directed right now or guided to meeting your soulmate, pile 2. So keep that in mind if that resonates with you. You also have, you have the Unknown card, which is an extra added major arcana card by the creator of the 5-cent tarot deck. It says Divine Fate. I was touching on like what I thought I saw as the star card here with the Think Positively card. It says here, openness, curiosity. And your final card is the Four of Matches in reverse, leaving home, transition, uncertainty. Okay, so you have the Unknown card and and it says uncertainty in the Four of Matches. I really am just picking up on a group that is starting to feel alive and putting their own needs first again. I think you've overcome a lot of the pain or the grief from your past, whatever challenges you had previously. or those negative thought patterns that I sense that you've been ruminating on, pile 2, you are now letting them go and just starting to see them for what they are. They're just stories in our head that aren't true. I sense becoming more mindful of the things that you think, and also more mindful of certain patterns that aren't serving you anymore. The Lovers also talks about a commitment to something, or making a choice and really committing to it. So I sense this is you really just committing to your own path, pile 2. Putting your own needs first and starting to love yourself again. But if it is associated with a relationship, then there's a good opportunity for you here to just trust in your, to put faith basically with the unknown card here, uncertainty, and with this card that reminds me of the star card, all about hope and faith. To just put faith in the divine with the strong purple colors here, indicating a strong connection with your spirit guides, that they will lead you to meeting your partner or your loved one. That I guess serendipity is working here. You'll be divinely guided to that special someone that is your soulmate or your twin flame, pile 2. But I also just see a group that needs to have faith in general. I sense that you already do, pile 2, and you're starting to have more and more faith in a divine, by surrendering more and more, by letting go of those things that aren't serving you. So they're just calling for you basically to continue to do that work and to continue to have faith in your path in life, and faith that you are being guided, even though you may not know what the next step is or where exactly you're being led to. I know that's a very hard thing to have to accept, pile 2, but I sense that you're a group that doesn't struggle too badly with not knowing the answers. Let's get a closeout message for you, pile 2, from the Universe Has Your Back deck. Oh, okay, there you go. The universe works fast when I'm having fun. Okay, that's a beautiful sentiment. That's just a message basically indicating that when you put yourself in a higher vibration by with the emotions are running high here in the relief card, when you are vibing high by doing things that bring you joy, that make you feel alive, that the law of attraction works a lot faster, basically. So try and remain positive, essentially, is the strong message from this reading, pile 2. I sense that you are putting your own needs first, and that you are starting to feel a lot more positive and more confident in your own abilities. So continue to do that, and continue to do things that make you feel alive and that bring you joy. That will allow for these messages and divine guidance to come through a lot stronger and a lot more frequently. That's all I have for you, pile 2. I hope it resonated with you. If it did, please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And let's move on to pile 3. Welcome, pile 3, with the raw malachite stone. I love this stone. Thanks to the lovely ladies at 78stars.net. Maybe have a look at their website. They have a lot of beautiful crystals and oracle decks and stuff like that. Moving on from that, for you, pile 3, let's get an idea about what new energy is coming in and what you've been working through recently with this tense new moon energy that's coming in Leo. So this first card is what you've currently been healing with those 3 planets conjunct in Capricorn. We've had to all be sort of working through certain challenges with our own life, and becoming more disciplined with dealing with things that maybe weren't serving us, or that we knew that we need to address. So for you, okay, listen to your guardian angels. Interesting. You may be spending more time dedicating yourself to spirituality, or becoming more disciplined in your approach to connecting with your spirit guides or guardian angels, I sense, pile 3. And your next 2 cards, you have the new moon at Scorpio. Okay, work through your fears. Oh, and you have the waxing moon. The energy is gaining momentum. Right. Right, okay. Not surprising, but all 3 piles have a very similar message, I suppose. the collective is dealing with similar energies with the new moon in Leo. But for you, pile 3, this is all about you, like, continuing to overcome your deepest fears, those things that maybe have been keeping you small, or from showing and shining your light out into the world, putting yourself out there potentially. So your guardian angels, it says listen to your guardian angels. I sense they're wanting you to connect more to them through whichever means may be the best for you to maintain clear contact with your spirit guides, or guardian angels, through potentially prayer or meditation, or when you're doing a mindful activity like maybe drawing or listening to music or something where your mind is very focused and quite clear of negative thoughts and stuff like that, because that's when they can give you the insight and information into what you need to heal, I sense, pile 3. So in terms of what you are healing, it's not really so much a healing for you, I sense, pile 3, but it's about you like gaining or really strengthening this connection to your spirit guides or your guardian angels, because they're really guiding you to continue to do the work to overcome certain challenges or fears that you may have that are keeping you small and preventing you from like getting out into the world. You've got the waxing moon here, energy gaining momentum, going from the new moon into the full moon. So I sense during this period where over the next 2 weeks, where we go from the new moon in Leo, leading towards the full moon in Pisces at the start of September 2020, is an opportunity for you to take stock of certain things that are keeping you small, of what your biggest fears are. I sense that during meditation, you may have sudden downloads or insights of what things are challenging for you, or what you know you need to change in your life. Because making changes is quite difficult. I empathize with you, and I'm not saying that it's easy work, but having to really be honest with ourselves about those things that aren't working for us, or that we know that we need to let go of, or that are keeping us small, that we're afraid of, is really quite daunting. Addressing your shadow isn't easy. It's called the dark for a reason. It's hard to see in the dark, basically, but your angels here are shining a light on those aspects of you that really need healing. And with the Malachite stone here too, Malachite associated with your heart chakra of love and compassion towards yourself. This is an opportunity for you to heal those aspects of you from your deep subconscious, noting that Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, which is all about the deep subconscious, and transforming those aspects so that you can be a lot freer and lighter in the rest of your life, moving beyond the full moon in Pisces in September. Noting that those 3 planets go direct by the end of mid-October. So I sense that during this period, you're being called to address these fears that you have. But with the energy gaining momentum here, I sense that you're already starting to connect a little bit more strongly during this period. I do see a group that probably does meditate or has some sort of practice anyway that they know they come into clarity with. So you're just being called a little bit more to continue to do that, to know that the more work that you do, or the more time you spend in meditation or mindfulness, the greater the opportunity for you to overcome these challenges and to be more mindful about what's holding you back right now. Moving on from that, pile 3, your next 2 oracle cards. Oh, you have number 1 and boundaries. Okay. And you have number 31, divine love. Right, there you go. So I was just touching on the Malachite stone associated with your heart chakra, and nurturing yourself through this period of sort of unveiling certain fears or lies or untruths that we tell ourselves that keep us small, so that we feel protected and we're not afraid of like putting ourselves out there. You really need to spend more time, I think. Like, I am sensing that for you, pile 3, you're being called to start also looking after your own needs a little bit during this period, because not only do I sense that you're being called to spend more time in meditation or contemplation or praying to your spirit guides and guardian angels in terms of healing these aspects of you that no longer serve you, but I also sense that it's probably going to be happening quite naturally for you, so that when you're least expecting it, certain emotions or feelings from your deep subconscious will arise and will be activated for you to need to heal. So you'll be working through quite a lot of pain and previous grief that you may have sort of shoved down to the deep subconscious. Potentially also there's some ancestral patterns here that are being called to arise for you to heal in your ancestral lineage, pile 3. So you have the boundaries card here too, indicating that it's time for you to sort of cut away any traits or patterns that will prevent you from really allowing yourself to go through this deep transformation and this deep healing period right now, pile 3, and to offer yourself love and compassion during this time, knowing that you will get through this, and that these are things that are going to arise sort of whether you like it or not, and it's all for your greater good, I'm sensing, pile 3. So this will be a bit of a challenging time, but just know that once you continue to do the work, and I sense after the retrograde period ends in mid-October leading into November, that you'll be able to walk through this door into the light and feel a lot lighter and more vibrant and happy and more at peace with who you are, and having more clarity about what you want from yourself and where you're headed in life on your journey. Moving on from that, pile 3, let's get some further messages and insight for you from the 5 cent tarot deck. Spirit, can we get some further messages for pile 3, please? Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. And what else they need to know for this new moon in Leo, things that they need to heal potentially, or some positive aspects that may be arising also. This is a really deep transformation for you, pile 3. The other 2 piles were sort of a little bit more lighthearted in terms of having overcome certain challenges and where they're going beyond that. But for you, I sense this is a deep transformation about your values and what's important to you, also about what you can achieve and how powerful you really are, starting to acknowledge how much power you have and the ability to overcome these fears that you may have that are holding you back and keeping you small, that I sense you feel are protecting you from external influences, or like putting yourself out there potentially, because you may fear, I sense, rejection or people not accepting your creative projects, or just this is a group that I sense possibly worries about what other people may think, I sense. But I also sense your guardian angels are coming in strong, protecting you during this period too. So you're not alone, pile 3. Oops, there you go. We'll get one more card. So your first card is the 10 of matches in reverse. It says here delegation, stress, and burnt out. You have the Queen of Matches, okay. Courage, take charge, fierce energy. And you also have the 8 of Matches. Now that's interesting. 8 of Matches, 10 of Matches, and the Queen of Matches, or the Queen of Wands. Panic, delays, decisions. Right. So you are really being quite deeply affected by this conflicting energy with the quincunx of like the sun and the moon in Leo, conjunct in Leo, of your deepest desires and wanting to like put yourself forward and shine a light on who you are and let yourself out there and show yourself to the world. You're being quite conflicted with those challenges that you're going through with those planets conjunct, I suspect, pile 3. Keeping yourself small and really struggling to overcome certain fears or things that aren't serving you anymore, I should say. with the panic and delays, really sort of in conflict with the Queen of Matches here, which I sense is your archetype of being creative and very passionate generally, of fierce energy and taking charge. There's a strong conflict here of being held back and burdened and stressed because there's things that you need to overcome, opposing that energy of who you want to be and who you sense you are and where you want to go in life. So now is really a good time for you to slow down, pile 3. Spend more time in nature or more time meditating, contemplating, praying, getting into a very mindful state where you're cutting away those negative thought patterns or belief systems that are no longer serving you, so that you can start to get more peace and tranquility in your life and feel a lot better about yourself, but also to start to address these things that just are no good for you anymore. You're supposed to be the Queen of Matches, who owns both her light and dark. The Queen of Matches is aware of her shadow, but she's integrated her shadow and she's not ashamed of it anymore. She owns her shadow, knowing full well that those things are just parts of her that have allowed her to be more strong and confident in her abilities to really overcome any challenge. When you get through this period, pile 3, I sense you're going to feel so much self-empowerment, so self-assured, knowing that you had the ability to take on any challenge in life. Let's get a closeout message for you, pile 3, from the Universe Has Your Back deck. So your card, your closeout card, pile 3, is quite simple but beautiful. Joy is the ultimate creator. There you go. So you have the Queen of Matches there, the archetype of being very creative, of being independent and having a lot of confidence in your own abilities and your own creative talents. The Queen of Matches is also a lot of fun. It's a very joyful, playful, energetic, vibrant energy. So just know that once you get through this period, pile 3, there's joy and ultimate fulfillment around the corner or through that door. That life will become a lot happier and more vibrant for you when you release the burdens of those fears or those negative belief patterns that just aren't serving you anymore. And ultimately, joy and happiness and that high vibe will allow you to be the most creative, that will bring in attracting more positivity to you day in, day out. That's all I have for you, pile 3. I hope it resonated with you. If it did, please like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.